Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel Data Scout. In our last video, we have discussed about single perceptron and how we can train the single perceptron. We know perceptron is nothing but a single neuron. So we have seen in our last video the architecture of single neuron. Let's say we have three features. Let's say we have a data set. Let's say we have a linear regression data set. So if I just say this is x1, this is x2, this is x3, and this is nothing but y, and if I just say 6, 7, 8, and this falls to 2, this is 2, 9, 11, this becomes 4, so on, so forth. So if this is the data set D, which is a real data set, let's say this is a real data set. So if we consider these input features and let's say this converges to a single neuron. We have discussed about this diagram or this architecture in our last video, how this input converged to this activation function and how this activation function gets the output y hat. This is, we know this is a input layer and this is output, right? So we don't have anything in between this, and we know the formula for this is nothing but, let's say, summation of I is 1 D. Let's say here we have Wi xi, and what is Wi? Wi is nothing but this weight which are getting assigned to each of the input. We'll see in our future classes or future videos how we assign these weights. And even we know one more thing, like this is a bias which always gets added. So this is what we know about a single perceptron, or we say single neuron, layer neuron, where we have input and just output. After this single perceptron, the next question came in researchers' mind was about neurons getting connected in a network. So from there, multi-layer perceptrons came into the. So multi-layer perceptrons depicts the central nervous system, which we have seen in our first of the videos. Let's consider this data set itself. Let's say we have three features, x1, x2, x3, and y is our target. So let's have these three features, x1, x2, and x3. Let's say we have these three neurons which are getting connected. Let's say these are the three neurons. So our input is fully connected. So what does the meaning fully connected says? It says these three features getting connected to this neuron, and in this we have this activation function. Again to the second neuron, this all three features are getting connected, and to this third neuron, again these three features are getting fully connected. So let's say again from these three neuron, if I say output of this three neuron will be getting connected to this two neuron, which is again a fully connected neurons. So let's say we have these three output getting connected to this. Output of this layer is going to a final neuron, or if I just say a final output, let's say this is a neuron activation function and the output is nothing but y dash or y hat. Let's say this. So if we see this architecture where this x1, x2, x3 are the three features of this data set which are getting connected to these three neurons, and the output of this neurons are getting fully connected to the output to the next level of neurons, which are again connected to a final output neuron, which is giving us the y hat. Y hat is nothing but a predicted value. This layer is called nothing but hidden layer. So this is the nothing but output layer, this is nothing but input layer, and these two layers which are in between of input and output are called as hidden layers. If I say these are all getting connected are nothing but a feed forward neural network, and we know the meaning of feed forwards. It forwarded in single direction, so it will forward in this direction. So if I compare, this is nothing but single perceptron and this is nothing but MLP, or I say multi-layer perceptron. So if we compare these two architecture, we can see in single perceptron or single layer neuron, we have one input layer and one output layer. There is no other layer in between these two. But if we see here, we have input layer, we have output layer, but in between we have two different layers, or it can be many layers, which are called hidden layers. So these are one of the basic differences between single perceptron and multi-perceptron. In our future classes, we'll see how we train this multi-layer perceptrons. So let me just draw this architecture of MLP again, so that we can understand the different terms and how it works. So let me just create this architecture again in a new page. This is our multi-layer perceptron architecture. So let's understand this architecture a little bit. So these three are the three features of our data set. So let's say we have a linear data set. So with this feature, we have weight assigned for each and every neuron. I have not put the weight here, but you can understand like this. These are the similar weights. So like this W21, this, and this, all these three having this weight W21, which are getting connected to this neurons, hidden layer neurons. So these are the weights which are getting feed forwarded. Then again from the output from this functions, activation functions, becomes input to the next layer of neurons. And from this level, again we have this corresponding weights again here, which is going to the final layer of neuron, which is nothing but output layer, which gives us the y hat. Y hat is nothing but the predicted value, and it can be anything. Let's say in the first iteration or first epoch, this gives the output of y hat equal to 0.2. We know what should be the output. We know output, if we know y is nothing but 3. This is the actual value and this is nothing but the predicted value. Predicted is 0.2, actually it should be 3. So we are very far away. So let's see how much far away. So if I just say loss is nothing but y minus y hat, or let's say y cap of whole square. We are using whole square to negate this negative thing. So 3 minus 0.2 is nothing but 2.8 square, right? So we are this much far away. So what will happen in our next videos, we will see how we can train our model so that we can minimize this loss. So our aim should be to minimize this loss so that our result can be, or we say our y hat can be near to y. We'll see how our activation functions work, which kind of activation functions we will use. Y hat and y will getting converged to a global minima. We'll see all of these features in our next class, how we can train this. So if I say these are the weights, right, after getting this output, how we will do a back propagation and we'll train these weights again. These weights will be retrained, and how the chain rule works in this. We'll see all of these things in our next videos. So guys, it is very much important for you to understand the back propagation and chain rule concept. We'll discuss in our next video how we can train this MLP. We'll see in our next video. I hope you have liked this content. If you have liked this content, please press the like button. Subscribe to our channel Data Scout so that whenever I'll come up with the next video, you will get the notification. If you have any doubt, please do comment. I will try to reply to each one of you. Thank you guys. Thanks for watching.